YouTube, it is I, Sakarma, coming to you with some 2v2 action from Total Brohammer. Yes, we got another goodie for you here. It is I, Sakarma, as the Skaven, the Under Empire with the real Empire, led by John, and we're fighting against Ninja Hun. Not the real Ninja Hun, this is the Ninja Hun troll that everyone has come to know and love. And the Greenskins headed by our good friend Avoid. And I promised you 2v2, and you shall get 2v2. So what do we have here? So we have the Skaven, we have the Empire, we have the Beastmen, and we have the Greenskins. So I'm going to go over my army real quick. So I've got a couple of Rat Ogres in the back, one Death Runner, two Plague Monks, just a number of rats. You know, it's my favorite Skaven build, just all rats. I mean, you know, a couple of Rat Ogres isn't too bad, but no douche furnaces, no douche wheels. This is a very, very effective fighting core. He does damage over time. Skrulk is a very good lord. And here's another thing, and I've talked about this before. Orion has 30 melee defense, and Skrulk has 45. I don't know if Skrulk is a good fighter in the lore. I'm sure he is, but Orion is like a melee lord. I know, of course, he's a hybrid lord. He has the javelins, but I don't know. You'd expect Orion to be better at not being hit compared to like Alariel and Skrulk, and especially compared to these guys like Teclis and what's his name, Balthazar Goat. I mean, they just have weak stats as you would expect out of casters, and GHK, another one. But these guys just have such good stats for caster lords. So it's, I mean, he I guess is more of a melee caster hybrid, but I don't know, Alariel at 55 is a little ridiculous. So as you can see, across the line I have tons of rats here. Let's get rid of this. And actually let's pause it because it will be a quick game. Sorry, get the action hot and heavy. So we've got a ton of spearmen, or a ton of Skaven slaves. I've got 2 Skaven slaves on either flank. I've got 4 Clanrats with spears, 4 Clanrats with swords. And yeah, no shield on any of them, just, you know, just trying to go mass infantry. And then an elite core right here of the Plague Monks with the Death Runners and the 2 Rat Ogres. And then, of course, these 3 units. One has, I think you have a Pestilent Birth, of course, Libra Bonicus and all that, which are great, which is a great spell against 2 factions that neither of them have healing in Beastmen and Greenskins. So he's got Pestilent Breath, Vermintide, and Pestilent Birth. We've got Craig's Call, whatever it's called. What's that? I should really understand. I should get the name of that. What is it? Warp Lightning. It's just called Warp Lightning. And then the Ashashan. So that's my army. John, meanwhile, has brought the Empire, his favorite army, well, at least formerly favorite. He's got a lot of cav, as he's known to bring, so a couple of Empire Knights, a Royal Altar of Griffite, Reichsguard. He's brought the Tattered Souls, Lokmar the Grim, Great Swords over here, Sigmar's Sons, not Skaven Slaves, Spearmen with Shields, and then more Reichsguards, so about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then oh, Celestial Wizard, very cool. So 5 cav, and then a pretty weak core, and then of course he's got Volkmar over here, which is good. Yeah, he's generally a good lord against these factions because he causes terror. He's hard to pin down, and of course he has the banishment. Oh, so I also have 2 Gutter Runners with poison. On the opponent's side, I think Void is head of the Greenskins, so he's got a very useful unit of Nasty Skulkers over here, very, very good units, Sarvish Orcs Biggins, and Black Orcs, and then we've got the same thing over on this side. He's got the Orc Boy Biggins, he's got Warzag, the best lord, with, let's see what he's got. I think that's Foot of Gork, and that's Fist of Gork, so very cool. We've got a Bratium of Death with, is that Fate of Buna? No, it's not Fate of Buna, right? That's, I think we have a no Fate of Buna rule. Doom and Darkness, Soul Blight, and Spirit Leech. I even think Spirit Leech should be banned. I hate Spirit Leech. I think it's a boring spell. And then we've got Rusty Airs, Goblin Archers for Firing Squad, Orc Buggins, Black Orcs, and then Ninja Hun's super sneaky Strike Force deployed behind us, which literally the game started and I was like, oh man, John, he must have a ton of Ungor Raiders or something like that. They're all hidden. He goes, no, Sakarma, look behind you. And I just this giant army Vanguard right behind us. So very, very cool. So it's all Gore herds chevroned up alongside the Blackhorns Ravagers, some Senegors with throwing axes, some more Senegors with throwing axes, a couple of Harpies who also have Vanguard, very cool. Kazrak, who has Vanguard now, of course, as we know, a couple of Chaos Wardens Poishound, more Centaurs, all with great weapons, no, just one with great weapons. So yeah, interesting little deployment zone. Oh, I forgot to mention these guys, the Skirmisher, Morgrim's Magi, the Death Creepers, and the Forest Goblin Spider Rider. So right away, shit gets hot and heavy, very, very cool battle. So he just put his whole army right behind us, and I didn't even notice at the first part. So unfortunately, the way this battle's going to go down is I'm going to have to leave John to be eaten. Very, very Skaven-like of me. I'm going to leave him to his doom because he's going to get sandwiched between these 2 forces. And I'm going to just, you know, roll across like a tide of, like a Vermintide across the left flank. So we're going to see here why, I mean, Rat Ogres are just so devastating on the charge. Look how much damage they do. Let's see on this charge against these Black Orcs. Oh, crazy good damage on these Black Orcs. Of course, there are 2 of them, but I don't know what is their damage. So their charge is 50, that's why. Unfortunately, they will start getting shot down by these guys, even though they're being hit by these, They are being hit by the clan rats, but of course they don't have much armor, so even the regular goblin archers are going to do a lot of damage against them. And I think the black orcs trade okay against them, even in combat, just because they don't have the greatest melee stats, and these guys have crazy high damage. So yeah, they are losing, but they did good damage to these black orcs. Unfortunately, I'm going to lose a lot of them, but I am bringing the Death Runners in here. I am going to pop Stand Your Ground. I'm also going to pop Rod of Corruption, what John likes to call my you can guess what I'm going to say next. The Black Orcs here are being wad, but it's not going to be enough to save them. And then of course these guys are fighting they're fighting clan rats, which is not good for them, assassins, and then plague monks, all units that can just cut through them rather quickly. So the Black Orcs are finished, so we've pushed hard on this left flank. Meanwhile, over here, the action is getting hot and heavy. John is just pretty much surrounded on all sides by beastmen and greenskins. It's just not looking good. Of course, John needs the mobility of his cav to be effective, but they just got overwhelmed by these Centaurs and the shooting and the charges. And he's got, you know, a few Royal Altar of Griffites, but he has no way to heal them. Over here, that's a good little fight for them, and they did catch these Centaurs with throwing axes. That's a huge pickup for us. But yeah, his army is getting, you know, picked apart by this combined arms attack of the Strike Force Alpha from the Beastmen, and then the Greenskin push from the front. Good thing is I do have some clan rats to be able to hold off some of these guys, and I actually hold these guys down long enough to get a nice little laser beam on them, do some good damage, lightning strike. Of course, these are clan rats, so who cares if they die? Whereas those are black orcs and night goblins, a very good unit. I pop Rod of Corruption in here. Or no, I pop that ability that reduces their melee by 44. So yeah, they're at 0 melee attack, very good for us. I sent 2 units here to chase them off. It should only have been 1. That's a big mistake. These plague bonds could have been much better used over here in the battle, but what can you do? These guys are going to come back, and I will use them. Over here, we're fighting off some of these, what are these, biggins against clan rats, and you can see they don't do that well, actually. Clan rats do okay. I wonder why that is. 51 melee attack, you'd think they would go down, but yeah, they're staying alive. I think because there's so many models, so even though they do tons of damage per hit, they don't have splash damage, so it's only hitting a few units at a time. These guys are kind of in the wrong position, so I'm going to reorganize them in a bit. Over here, we are winning this fight, taking down the other Black Orc, which is what we want to do. I don't know where the Death Runners are. They're in here fighting. So yeah, so everything has 55 armor, so it's a really good battle for us. Meanwhile, John is, again, getting picked apart. You can just see the Beastmen hordes have run over his units and just, you know, doing a lot of murder. Volkmar's in trouble here. At some point he will go down. Sorry, spoiler. They've charged my Gutter Runners. Good move by Avoid. The Death Creepers have pretty solid stats in melee at 19, 31, and they're being reduced. But these guys, yeah, better than these guys certainly, and more health. So yeah, it's a good move on their part. I think that's Avoid, who's the greenskin. Yeah, Volkmar is a little stuck here. He's fighting Orzag. He's fighting Kazrak. I always call him Karak. He's fighting Kazrak. It's not looking good for him. Meanwhile, I'm just going to leave these remaining 14 Night Goblins, otherwise we'll fight them forever. I'll have them fight these Clan Rats, they'll trade decently with them, and then eventually they'll kill them. We do get these poisons sandwiched between these Empire Knights. Unfortunately, he's going to bring these Centaurs in, and he's going to do some serious damage, but the good thing is I have Stand Your Ground to help boost our units, and we are going to be able to get some damage on this British Unit of Death as well as these Centaurs. And unlike Orion, who in the earlier 2v2 could just withstand endless attacks of Spirit Leech, Skrull will not be able to do that, so it's a good thing that we're getting him off the field, although he will return. We are going to get some kills on these Centaurs, so it's a good little move. My leadership cores are very much intact, but John's army is pretty devastated. I have units spread across the 9 winds. The Plague Monks over here, another Plague Monks over here. I should have brought them back in. I don't know how that happened. I guess I had them chasing off the Rusty Airs, but all I really have here are the Death Runners, and there's no support for them, so not a good move. These guys are out here. I am chasing off some of his recovered units over here with my very devastated Rat Ogres, and these guys are just unmoved, or not moving while I find the Black Orc. So not the best micro game from me, but what can you do? It's a 2v2, a lot of chaos going on, and I'm not the best microer in the world anyways. We do have Kazrak cut out here. We're going to do some good damage. We have trophy heads on him, so he's not in a good place, and I think he's being hit by the Death Runners, so he has 50 armor. So that would have been a good place for the Assassin to come in, but unfortunately he's able to get away. And now the Death Runners have very little health, and very little armor, so they're just going to go down to this, you know, combined arms attack from all the Beastmen. I do have some rats here I can summon up and try and, you know, muck things up, and they'll do some decent damage. A lot of these units don't have armor, so yeah, just, you know, helping us out. A Chain Lightning comes through, probably from the Celestial Wizard, who I don't know where he is. Oh, he's in here, he's dying. So yeah, that was just a, you know, a death knell from that guy. He's stuck, he's done for. Unfortunately, all my, pardon me, all my leadership corps is infantry, or at least ratfantry. So these chariots will do very, very well against them. They do get a bonus versus infantry, and it will apply against Skrulk and this guy, the Warlock Engineer, and the Assassin. Of course, they are getting sucked off by the Warlock Engineer, a truly terrifying proposition, but they are getting sucked off in this little blob. So the longer he stays alive and around and fighting, the more damage that's going to happen to them. And Skrulk, of course, does damage to both health, like your HP, and of course your leadership. So every hit he does on these guys who already have weak leadership is pretty good, because they will get demoralized by his fucking ball and chain or whatever weapon he uses. Meanwhile, the assassin here is trying to get his work done, trying to stab the Death Shaman to death. The Death Shaman to death, but it's not working. I finally realize these guys are back. At some point I do. No, I don't. I don't realize these guys are back. So I'm still leaving 2 very healthy units of Plague Monks out there. Again, not good on me. If I brought them in there, this game would have been over much earlier. But yeah, as it is, it looks pretty close at this point, but because I've been poorly microing this game. But I have brought these Rat Ogres back in, and they're going to help break up this army. The Warlock Engineer is dead. The Brave Shaman of Death is retreating, but he will come back. I have some Clan Rats who have fled, but they return, but they'll flee just as quickly. I do have these Rat Ogres, which are going to be good against Khazrak, because they can prevent his charge from getting through, but he's obviously going to do good damage to them because he just has higher stats. Well, he's being debuffed by something. I don't know what that, maybe poison. Only 34 on him? Interesting. That's pretty bad. 39 back there. I don't know, because I think he got Frenzy back, but still. Only 30, that's pretty bad. Warzag's in very good health, and he is no joke in melee. He does tons of damage to the assassin. This should be a fight the assassin's good at, but unfortunately Warzag just puts him in the ground real quick. Even with trophy heads, the assassin just doesn't have the health and the pool to survive the onslaught of Warzag, so I'm going to avoid picking up that kill. And now he's going to come after Skrulk. Of course, Skrulk is not as easy to kill as the assassin. He has more armor, he has more melee defense. I don't think he has a physical resist, though. The assassin does have physical resist, whereas Skrulk does not. But yeah, Skrulk is harder to kill than he seems. It's just the way it is with Skrulk. So he's running around, charging in back and forth. There's some Harpies back. The Brave Shaman of Death is back. Khazrak's back. So it's not looking good for Skrulk. But I have brought in these Gutter Runners to poison things up and slow everything down and try and help him. I'm gonna try and fight the good fight here, but it's not looking great. Lord Skrulk just got smoked, and he's at Doom and Darkness, so he might retreat any time, which would be huge because there's no way I'm getting him back. Luckily, I do have some rats to summon, so I do summon some rats here and pour over these guys. And these guys already have such weak leadership that they're just going to rout, especially considering they feel like they've been attacked from behind. So good on Skrulk to get some magic in there. Warzag is really just hunting Skrulk aggressively, but there's not a whole lot I can do. He's just trying to survive. And, not die. Which is what survival means. So that's called tautology, guys, when you say something twice. And now I sound like a dick, a pedantic piece of shit. Nobody hates me more than I hate myself. So whoever downs both me, give it to me. I need it. Anyways, so we've got Warzag surrounded. He's being Rod of Corrupted. Skrulk has put his Corruptive Rod right into Warzag, and it's not looking good for Warzag. He is not enjoying it, but he's trying to get out of here, and he actually is going to rout. And that's huge. I mean, that's pretty much the game at that point, because without him, there's not a lot I can do. And I finally, my Plague Monks, poor Plague Monks have been in the corner fighting the whole time. They're finally on their way back. But I summoned some rats to trap him even more, and now Khazrak's trapped. There's not a lot of places he can go, and he's slashing people left and right. But there's not, he's just in a bad position. And that'll be it for the forces of Beast and Chaos, or sorry, Greenskins. So fantastic battle, good times. Another close one. I wouldn't say as close as the one we did against Gobbo and Avoid, but nearly as close, and definitely more interesting, or as interesting, considering considering there was a giant Beastmen army deployed behind them. So GG to Ninja Hun and Avoid, always fun. 148 kills on Khazrak, nice, good work on Khazrak. 82 on this Death Shaman on the Chariot, to be expected. 122 on the Senegors, very, very good work across the board for the Alpha Strike Force, for the Sneaky Strike Force, rather. What's like another S word? Sneaky Strike Sauriers? That's not a word. Sneaky Strike Saffrons. Surfers. Sneaky Strike Surfers. There we go. Sneaky Strike Surfers from Ninja Hun. Very cool. And the SSS, one away from being bad historically. My faction over here, 93 kills on the Gutter Runners, very good. I don't know what that's on, but very, very good. Probably killing like chaff when they were throwing. But no chevrons or any of my units, to be expected. Although 103 on these Plague Monks, not bad. But yeah, just, good damage. They, we absorbed a lot of the charge. We were able to help hold the line with John. And I didn't use my Plague Monks to good effect at all, but what can you do? Meanwhile, let's see what John did. 111 kills on Volkmar, very good. Not great on these Royal Altar of Griffites. It was a tough matchup for them. And the Reichsguard, 115. So good use of these two units, and then as well as the Celestial Wizard. But overall, I wasn't able to get much work done because they just got surrounded. Although the Tidal Souls seem to have done pretty well. Same thing with the Great Swords. Yeah, I got nowhere near those amount of kills. Scroll was 57. 75 on these clan rats? Crazy. Alright, so let's see. Avoid here real quick. Go back to John if you want to see more of his. And then what did he do here? So Black Orcs, oh my god, 234 kills in these Savage Orc Biggins. Probably just cutting through clan rats the whole game, but man, what can you do? Same thing with these Biggins, so just murder across the board. But yeah, fun, fun, fun. Alright guys, so that'll be it for that 2v2. Hope you enjoyed it. There should be a couple more coming your way in the near future, so keep a lookout on for it, and hope you guys are enjoying this 2v2 content. We don't get to see it too often, so it's always fun to put it online. Alright guys, thanks again, I'll see you around the bend.